Do you think caring for a car is just changing the oil and that's it? Under the hood, there are silent killers that depend on your habits. Here are 11 habits to help your car reach 200,000 kilometers and beyond, strong and reliable, without surprise repair bills. How to use this guide and why it works. Each habit includes a benefit, one actionable step, a warning sign, and a mistake to avoid. You do not need special tools, just consistency and good judgment. Habit 1. Keep at least 1/4 of a tank. Why it matters. The fuel pump sits inside the tank and is cooled and lubricated by gasoline. With low fuel, it can suck hot air and wear faster. Also, you stir up sediment from the bottom of the tank, which can clog the fuel filter and injectors. What to do? Refuel when the gauge drops below 1/4. On long trips, plan stops early. Warning signs, slow starts, hesitation when accelerating, loud fuel pump whining. Mistake to avoid. Always driving until the reserve light out of habit. Habit 2. Start, wait 30 seconds, and drive gently. Do not idle to warm it up. Why it matters. Letting it idle for 10 minutes to warm up can dilute oil with fuel and does not warm everything evenly. Driving gently warms the engine faster and more effectively. What to do? Start the engine, let it idle for 30 seconds, then drive gently for the first 3 kilometers with no hard throttle. Warning signs. Fuel smell in the oil, high city fuel consumption. Mistake to avoid. Letting it idle while you grab coffee with the engine running. Habit 3. Respect the fuel pump click at the gas station. Do not top off. Why it matters. That click protects the EVAP system. If you keep filling to round up the price, you can push liquid fuel into vapor lines and saturate the charcoal canister. What to do? When you hear the click, stop. Warning signs. Fuel smell, emissions codes, fuel nozzle that keeps clicking off while you refuel. Mistake to avoid. Just a little more every time, slowly damaging the EVAP system. Habit 4. Change oil at realistic intervals based on your driving. Why it matters. In real-world use, short trips, traffic, cold, or extreme heat, oil degrades sooner than the label suggests. What to do? Mineral oil. Change oil about every 5,000 kilometers. Synthetic oil. Change oil every 7,500 to 10,000 kilometers, or every 6 to 12 months. Warning signs. Oil that looks very dark or watery, lifter noise, oil consumption. Mistake to avoid. Stretching intervals too long because the bottle says so. Always use the viscosity and specification required by the manufacturer. Habit 5. Automatic transmission. Drain and fill, not an aggressive flush without history. Why it matters. Automatic transmission fluid ages and carries debris. A strong flush on a neglected transmission can loosen sludge and clog passages. What to do? Drain and refill the fluid, and replace the filter if applicable, every 60,000 to 90,000 kilometers depending on use. If you want to replace a higher percentage of fluid, repeat the drain and refill 2 or 3 times. Warning signs. Harsh shifts, slipping, burnt smell in the fluid. Mistake to avoid. Using the wrong fluid. Use only the specified type, like WS, ATF plus 4, and the exact spec for your model. Habit 6. Keep coolant fresh and never mix types. Why it matters. One overheating event can warp an aluminum cylinder head. Old coolant loses protection and promotes corrosion. What to do? Replace coolant every 3 to 5 years, depending on the coolant type. Check the level monthly. Do not mix colors. If the level drops, you have a leak. Do a pressure test. Warning signs. Coolant level dropping. White crusty stains, sweet smell, temperature gauge running higher. Mistake to avoid. I'll just top it off. If you do not fix the leak, the problem returns. Habit 7. Hunt down strange noises early. Why it matters. A belt squeal that could cost about $40 can turn into an alternator repair around $1,200. What to do? Write down when and where the noise happens. Cold start, hot engine, turning, bumps, or braking. Then get it checked. Warning signs. A clunk on driveway entrances, a ticking noise at idle, a whistle on cold mornings. Mistake to avoid. It has sounded like that for months, but it still drives. Every day can make the repair more expensive. Habit 8. Keep battery terminals clean and protected. Why it matters. White corrosion means poor connection. That causes weak starts, an overworked alternator, and unstable electronics. What to do? Every 3 to 4 months, clean with baking soda and water or a dedicated terminal cleaner. Use a soft brush. Apply dielectric grease on the outside of the terminal connection to help prevent corrosion. Warning signs: slow cranking, flickering lights, radio resets. Mistake to avoid: disconnecting the battery without knowing if your car needs codes or memory procedures. Check the owner's manual. Habit 9. Use the parking brake before selecting P. Why it matters. On hills, the full weight of the vehicle rests on the parking pole, a small part inside the transmission. Over time, it can be damaged. What to do? First, set the parking brake, then shift to P. Do it even on flat ground to build the habit. Warning signs: clunks when shifting into P. The vehicle feels like it loads against the shifter. Mistake to avoid: trusting only P on slopes. Habit 10. Replace brake fluid every 2 years. Why it matters. Brake fluid absorbs water. That lowers the boiling point, corrodes lines, and can damage ABS components. What to do? Flush the brake fluid completely every 2 years or every 40,000 kilometers. Use the DOT type specified for your vehicle. Warning signs: spongy pedal, longer stopping distances, ABS light that comes on intermittently. Mistake to avoid: just topping off without flushing. The moisture is still inside. Habit 11. Wash the underbody and clean the radiator or condenser fins. Why it matters. Salt and mud underneath the car lead to rust in the chassis and lines. Clogged fins mean heat buildup and weak air conditioning. What to do? Rinse the underbody gently after heavy rain or road salt exposure. Clean the radiator or condenser using low-pressure air or water, spraying from the back toward the front. Warning signs: visible rust, higher temperatures in traffic, air conditioning that cools less when stopped. Mistake to avoid: using a strong water jet very close, because it bends the fins easily. 2-minute monthly mini checklist. Check engine oil and coolant level. Check tire pressure, including the spare tire. Check terminals for corrosion. Look for visible leaks under the car. Check lights and windshield wipers. Make sure radiator and condenser fins are not visibly blocked. Keep at least 1/4 of a tank. Frequently asked questions. Do I really not need to warm up the engine by idling? It is better to wait 30 seconds, then drive gently. This warms the engine faster, reduces oil dilution, and saves fuel. Can I mix coolants of different colors? No. Use exactly what the manufacturer specifies. Mixing can create chemical sludge and corrosion. How often should I change oil if I drive in the city with short trips? Shorten the interval, between 5,000 and 7,500 kilometers, depending on oil type and usage. Many manuals assume ideal conditions. Does overfilling the fuel tank really cause damage? Yes. Topping off can saturate the EVAP system and lead to a damaged canister and valves. Automatic transmission with 150,000 kilometers and no service history. Should I do a flush? Better to drain and refill, and repeat if needed, using the correct fluid. Avoid dislodging sludge all at once. Why brake fluid every 2 years? Because it absorbs water. If it boils, braking performance drops, and it can corrode expensive components like calipers and ABS parts. Conclusion: your car lasts longer when you do the simple things correctly. Keep 1/4 of a tank, wait 30 seconds then drive. Respect the fuel pump click. Use realistic oil intervals. Service automatic transmission fluid wisely. Keep coolant fresh. Address noises early. Keep terminals clean. Use the parking brake. Replace brake fluid. And keep the underbody and fins clean. These are low-cost habits that prevent expensive repairs and extend the life of the engine, transmission, and brakes by a lot. Without further ado, I hope this video has been useful to you and you can solve your problem. See you in a next video. Bye-bye.